Hey, so today is the 14th, and I am headed to my MRI for the minimally invasive gynecologic surgery. That was a mouthful. So I am heading to have my MRI done this morning. Feeling a bit nervous. I think I shared with you all before that I had put off surgery for so long, hoping that something would change, and nothing had really changed. I have been taking, since September, T supplements. That's kind of it. I stopped taking other things outside of like vitamin C. So that's all I've been taking. It is 32 degrees outside. I have a book because I've never done this before, so I'm not sure what to expect. And so just walking on in. We're walking around. They're doing construction in the garage that I'm at. I'm at Wake Forest Baptist because that's what my insurance covers. So they say we shall see what happens. Appointment was at 8 this morning. It's like 8:15. I was here early, and there were two other people here before me. Here we are. The anti-socks. This is a mess. Come on. I should wear a crown and a robe. I feel like my grandma. Ready. All right, so I've just gotten out of my MRI. First time ever having one. I would not advise it. Get 0 out of 0 for me. I took notes before I went in. They put you in there, they elevate your legs, and put earplugs in your ears and make sure your head's tight and you're just laying on your back. They put something on your knees. They give me a blanket, which is great. I'm cold natured. Slide on in. They kind of explain it. Now, I did not know. My doctor did not tell me before going in that I had to have an IV. And I had to have contrast. Well, contrast with the IV and a shot, which was to slow down the function of my bowels. I didn't know that going into it. So, and I'm skipping over parts just to being in the tube is what I'll call it. The tech was fantastic. I get the shot. no biggie there. They slide you in. You kind of settle in as best you can. And then you hear a series of sounds. At some point I was like, this is like a disco beat, like a heavy like REM beat. And I was like, oh, you can listen with this beat until you just hear all this stuff happening, and what you're laying on warms. It was nice at first. And so then you hear the automated machine say, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, now hold your breath. That happened at least 7 or 8 times. Yeah, 7 or 8 times. Not the entire time, but you're sitting there lying flat, you're restricted, and it's breathe in, breathe out, hold your breath. You start really analyzing like how you breathe. So at one point, after the first round of breathe in, breathe outs, I pretty much was able to rest well. But after like, it had to be maybe 30 minutes, I began to get restless and almost panic. I said I couldn't imagine being claustrophobic in there and I could see out the back. But right when they pushed me in, I said, it's like going into a coffin. Like, that's the only thing that I could imagine. And I've actually laid inside of a coffin, long story. But I was like, this is what I would liken it to. It's dome shaped, whatever. After 30 minutes, I had rested, kind of fallen asleep. I started freaking out because, everything wants to itch on you. You can't move your arm. You're not supposed to move at all. My back starts to hurt a little bit. My fingers are going like numb. So I'm trying to wiggle my fingers and toes. I want to adjust my neck and rotate because it's the way you're sitting and you're not supposed to do any of that. So at one point I remember telling myself, Portia, just calm down, just go back to what you were doing before, because I must have been asleep, because when I woke up or kind of became aware, I was like, oh, I can't move. And so that was terrifying, if I'm honest. And so about 15 minutes left, and I started like saying, hey, can anybody hear me? I was ready to get out of that stupid thing. So the tech comes in, he's like, hey, I'm just adjusting where your camera is. I was like, oh darn, that's it. So we adjust the camera, we go back in for maybe like 12 more minutes. Breathe in, breathe out, hold breath, breathe in, breathe out, hold breath. It continues to happen, and he finally lets me out. He pulls the thing out where it slides out. The thing you're sitting on moves forward and backwards. So he goes, that was one of the longer sessions. Typically they're not that long. And he says, just because of what they're trying to get images of for you, they have to have more. And so because my fibroids are large and where they are, they have moved up. And so at first the camera was sitting like higher on my abdomen. And then they moved it further down on my uterus the second go around. That's when the contrast went in. And they said it takes 25 seconds from the contrast leaving the port in your arm and making its way to your uterus. 25 seconds. And you could feel it. So he says, hey, the contrast is going to go in now. And I feel it get cold. And I feel it going in or whatever. But all in all, it was really intense. Like, honestly, I wish somebody would have prepared me for that. I've not seen many or any videos on those parts of this part. Like I said, I did not know I was going to have contrast. I didn't know I was going to have a shot. And so that's that. Time to get dressed.